101.3 Nigeria Info. I am yours truly, Canada Kurubatu. Remember, you can watch us live on Facebook, you can watch us live on YouTube, you can interact with us because we're active on X, Nigeria Info PH on all three platforms. Good afternoon to you. Always my pleasure. Always, love from me when I know, because I know you're always out there listening. All right, my guest is a little bit away, hold up somewhere. So you and I would start the conversation, and when he joins us, we'll get his thoughts. And basically, what do I want to talk about? Like I advertised earlier, I want to talk about the impact of the protest. Did the protest hit bull's eye? Did it hit its mark? Right. Today's the 9th day. Tomorrow will be the 10th day, and tomorrow is supposed to be the last day. Tomorrow is when the protests will culminate nationwide. I do hear some organizers of the protest say after the 10th day they will sit down and do an assessment as to whether the protests did yield any result. Now, during the big stories, I remember mentioning that the bags of rice promised to be sold at half the price. I mean, that decision has been suspended or rescinded. I'm saying it has been rescinded. May has been. We're told that before his work, but he's not sure that is accurate and not tell whether or not it work. We also have old energy bosses, we had how pace. Day that means all tests have been met. Could the use a strategy? I not so much because what's to be done. One would ask, what is the impact of this? Now, I read some newspapers, and some newspapers have attempted to write an impact on the economic side, and some have reported the Houghton's and people out there even worsened economic challenges as a result of some people face destruction and losing their business. Did we hit the eye? That's the question trying to answer on the show. Did we hit those eye? All right, let's see. Let's read what talking. Some people lost the protest on the Daily Trust newspaper. Protests, traders, transporters, saying what they lost. Now, big-time traders and those managing small and medium enterprises, as well as transporters in states where the hashtag End Bad Governance protests took place, are counting their losses. Daily Trust reports violent demonstrations which accompany the protests across the nation since August 1 have led to the imposition of curfew in some states. The activities of food that hit the protests have led to restriction movement and closure of business premises. Curfew has been relaxed in some states. Many of those now current lost fortunes during siege on their businesses by thieves. Others said they lost revenue because they were forced to close their shops for fear of hoodlums who went about attacking businesses. Transporters also spoke of the grounding of the activities due to fear of being attacked or simply because there were no passengers. Now, according to the report or the article, over 5 billion naira worth of goods looted, and this is coming from some shop owners in Kano State. Now, the most pronounced private properties looted and vandalized in Kano include the retail outlets of Barakat stores and Rufaida yogurt. Speaking on their experience, Barakat Stores General Manager Muhammad Sani, popularly known as Alhaji Karami, said an estimated 5 billion naira worth of goods and properties have so far been destroyed. All right, in River State, we saw shops and businesses closed in certain areas for, a couple of days. On the first day, shops were not open. On the second day, we saw a few of them open. On the third day, in certain areas, when it began to become violent at the time, we saw some of those shops closed, and banks did not operate in full capacity, we were told. The reports carried all of that. So the question then is, what is the economic loss like in River State for you personally? How has this affected you? Because it is also most likely that food prices are going to go up. It's most likely that the petrol situation may also worsen because from reports that I've seen, they have not been able to distribute petroleum products to the different states because of protests. Some trucks were hijacked, or was it burnt? I can't remember now. Food trucks also have been facing similar challenges, and so coming into River State or any other state from where usually it is supplied has become a problem, a huge logistics problem. So these are some of the issues. But with all of these sacrifices that we've got to make, which is possible huge increment in food prices, and the lingering petrol situation, and some people not having or generating revenue from their businesses because their shops were closed, all of these sacrifices, do you think that the protest has been able to shift the government stance on certain policies, to shift the government on setting economic moves, not just the federal government? I'm looking at it from the state government as well. I'm looking at it from the local government. I'd like to get your thoughts. I'm going to take a few calls just before my guest will come into the studio. We've talked, before now, and he's got some amazing views as to what the protest achieved and what is lying in wait for us in the future. So I'm gonna wait for him to come and tell you himself. But I want to get your thoughts. Now, a lot of you shouted protest. Some of you were against the protest. But in general, now as it is, do you think that the last 9 days have been successful in terms? I mean, of course, it's been peaceful, and I like that, and I take that as success. I mean, to a large extent, it's been peaceful. We didn't record deaths in River State, none that I'm aware of, so I can yet again take that one as a success. I also would take as success the fact that the various grievances, the grouse of the people has been noted and has been registered with those in authority, and I do like that as well. I also do like the fact that the people can come together irrespective of faith, religion, ethnic nationality, and they can come and say, hey, we stand against bad economic policies. I mean, it's a good one. And when we say the people stand against, it does not mean that some people cannot stand for. Just as you're entitled to your opinion and association, that is how others are also entitled to their opinion and association, right? So let's get yours. Basically, what are you thinking as it relates to the protest? Tomorrow is the last day. We may not be able to talk about it again after tomorrow, except the organizers are intending to extend the protest. Do you think the protest was a successful one? If you say yes, if it was impactful, tell me how it impacted society in the last 9 to 10 days. All right. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. Those are the call numbers. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. I'd like to get your thoughts as we talk for development here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Remember, this is Hard Facts. I am yours truly, Kaladako Rubat, but it's time for me to get your thoughts. All right, I'm waiting for the call screener to take down your name, your location, and I would take your contribution. And guess what? I have Jude, who's calling me from Omuma. Jude, welcome. Talk to me. Jude, are you there?
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, welcome. Talk to me, please.
For me, the success is partially a success.
Okay.
I say partially is because some violence were recorded in some states, but not everywhere. It is success because let it be on record that Nigerians held a 10-day protest.
Okay.
Government did not meet up with their demands. Let it be on record. Protest goes on in every country of the world. Where we see violence, and we blame the security agents for violence. That shows their professionalism in managing violence. And everywhere, every society of the world, you have crime and criminality. You can never, no country has ever limited crime and criminality. It is a duty of the security agents to manage crime. How have they managed the criminals that hijacked, let me use your word, that hijacked the protest? And Are they saying they didn't know that there are criminals that will take advantage of the protest to do what they did and what next to do? That's the way we got protest.
All right, then. All right.
It has not ended. When they are pressed, they now know the advantages and the disadvantages and know the next line of action.
All right. Jude, I've got to take other callers now, so I would have to let you go. Really, really, I'm sorry. Emeka from Elele, welcome. Straight to the point,
yes,
please.
Kala, good evening.
Yes, straight to the point. Welcome.
The protest, the impact of the protest is very advantageous to us, the young ones.
Okay.
Because I know that people will be saying that there is no need for the protest, that they will continue to be ruling us like this. But the most important thing is that the international community now have heard the voice of Nigeria. So APC-led federal government have rubbished themselves in the international community.
Oh, okay.
That is the only profit of this thing. And people now have wake up in Nigeria to unite together to fight both Hausa and Yoruba and South. They are not thinking together. Which means the next protest will be something else. So this one is wake up call for our leaders that they should give way. And put the interest of their people that they are leading in their mind.
All right.
Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Jamaica. I've got Hector from Digema. Hector, welcome. What's on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good evening, KD.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Yes. I think what really necessitated the protest is because there is a faulty social structure, and then the people raised a demand. Raised a demand for economic change in the structure, in the social structure. It's made up of estimated over 200 million, right. And I don't expect the millions of people, the hundreds of millions of people to reason or think in the same direction. Before the protest started, some persons kick against it, that there is no need for the protest. They are either here or there. They are not for the government. They are not even for the people. While even those that are for the government, they are kicking against the protest. But the protest still go on.
Right.
The question that I think is expected to have is, what did the government lose? Did the government lost anything?
How do you
individuals,
mean?
They have lost one or two things. They didn't open their business because of the protest, fear of getting loot and all that. Yes, that is an individual perspective, lost. But did the government lose anything? I think that is the area that I'm looking at it. What does the government lose? Did they lose anything? What happened to maybe perhaps the revenues from different states and nationally? How does it affect the national revenue, the IGR, and whatever, the gross income and all that? So if the government, perhaps if the government has lost hugely, I think they will sit up and do the what is right, so that they will prevent any future occurrences of this nature.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to go now. Thank you. I've got Robin from Iche, and after that I've got a commercial. Robin, welcome.
Yes, Kalada, my brother. Happy weekend.
Yeah, same to you.
Yes, the protest has impacted. To me personally.
I'm listening.
But particularly to the government. It has shown clearly that the government of the day has been deceitful.
How do you mean?
And those who did not want the protest to take place in Abuja, who got caught order, the protest took place. Those who threatened us here in River State, that if you come out, you collect woto. The protest took place.
All right.
That is to tell you the will of the people
has
superseded that of government. No matter how few they are, that they are collecting, that they are eating from our common patrimony, it's glaring that few persons have started to cut away with our money.
All right, Robin, I'm sorry, I would
hard.
have to pause you at this point. Commercial.
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
The headline news: no protests in Port Harcourt and ninth day of hashtag and bad governance demonstrations. Court issues summons to IGP, Rivers CP over police presence at LGA Secretariat. Former President Obasanjo says purposeful leadership, teamwork will drive positive development in Nigeria. Scores killed in fresh bandits attack in Benue State. President Tinubu mourns former CAF President Isa Ayato on the foreign scene. UK terrorist suspect deported from Kenya. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news teams and an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Kurubatbo. Good evening.
Allow us to save you the stress.
Count on us for your daily dose of information and current affairs.
You ask for it, the conversation, and more on Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts.
All right, 5:31 p.m. Greetings to you. Welcome. What are your thoughts and what we're talking about? For those of you who are just joining, you're welcome. You're welcome on the show. Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info, your Talk News Sports radio station. I am Kalada Kurubatbo. It's my pleasure having you on the other side of the radio. But I'd like to get your thoughts. I'd like to pick your brains on the very issue I'm looking at. How impactful, what have we achieved as a people, as a nation, with the nationwide protest? You know, it's coming to an end tomorrow. It's going to culminate tomorrow. But what have we achieved as a people? You know, I did reel out some economic issues or challenges that came up or emerged as a result of the protests, you know, how it has affected people personally. But, you know, as a nation, collectively, did we hit the bullseye? Did we hit the target? Did we hit, you know, the sport that we wanted to hit? And these are some of the questions I'm trying to ask, right? So I'm going back to the phone line, still waiting on my guest. And let's talk, you and I. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. And 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development. So I'm going to start reading from WhatsApp and let's see. Okay, some recent network is terrible. Okay, I'm here. This one says, good afternoon, Nigeria Info. It said, can I confirm the above? Okay, I can't confirm it. You know, you're the one who sent me the video. Let's see this. This one says, as far as I'm concerned, the protest is a revolution. It will surely make a change sooner, because President Tinubu's government is a government in which the worst people are in charge, and that is the origin of all what we are passing through right now in the country. So I stand vehemently to say, okay, I can't say that on my show, but Dennis Chigonum from Rupoku, thank you very much. You said the government is a kakistocracy. All right, kakistocracy. All right, thank you very much. This one says, good evening. Power. I don't get that part. I think power belongs to the people. Did you see how the government quickly resolved the issue of minimum wage with the unions? You can imagine what would have been the impact if these unions were part of the ongoing protest. Notwithstanding, the protest was a success. Olu Jays, thank you. This one says, the protest has made the power-drunk politicians who said protests must hold in or must not hold in their domain know that power belongs to the people, and 2027 will clear their eyes like, okay, all right, Oguojun Justice, thank you. Let's leave it at that. This one says, the protest achieved a lot because now the government knows that the people know about their misdemeanor, and the people will call them to question at the right time. Beauty from Recruiter. All right, well said. This one says, the impact of the end bad governance peaceful protest, for me, the message has been sent to President Bola Tinubu despite the hijacked and attacked despite, I don't get that part, but you said, I think they hijacked and attacked the protest by hoodlums in the states. Generally, the peaceful protest was impactful. I want to take Clinton. Good one. It is a means of bringing the demands of the common man to bear, and it is an offshoot of a bad governance that resulted to it. It is just the protest was hijacked by some, but for me, it has sent a strong signal that you cannot get away with policies that is anti-people. Victor from Oibo. All right, let's try this. Try this call. I missed that one. Do call back. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Your name, your location, your contribution.
Good evening, Canada.
You're welcome.
Comrade Clinton from Bury.
All right, Clinton, welcome.
Yes, I would say that the protest was generally very successful in that the message was sent to every level of government that the people can no longer suffer in silence. Yes, it was successful, Canada. The impact is what we are waiting for, because we believe that we have a listening president, and again, a governor that listens as well. We want all levels of government to yield to the yearnings of the people, develop this state. We are talking about Rivers State in particular. We can develop Rivers State. We can make things work in Rivers State. We have a lot in Rivers State. Human resources, mineral resources are embedded here in our soil. So we want government to be proactive and ensure that the welfare of the citizens are given a priority. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I've got a gift from Yenegua. Gift, welcome. What is on your mind?
Canada, good evening, my brother.
Yeah.
Let me tell anyone who cares to listen. This protest did not achieve or gain anything. Rather, it was sorrow, tears, and blood. Losses everywhere. Even those states like my state here, Bayelsa, that the governor tried his possible best, civil society, everybody. We knew that this was what will happen in the nearest future. So we tried to curtail, and we agreed among ourselves and decided not to be part of it. In Bayelsa, that was not much. But look at what played out in the economy. It was down, and it will remain that way. But the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months straight, this is what will happen. Do you know how much was transportation before the protest? As I speak with you, Canada, it has doubled. And you know anything that has gone up in Nigeria, it is very difficult, Canada, my brother, for that thing to come down. That was what played out within these 9 days, and tomorrow will be the 10th day. It is shameful. If you don't know how to go about it, you just forget about it. What has changed? The man came out to even address you, telling you that I am not one of those people that will come out with a policy because of your protest, then I will go back or run away. The man stood his ground because every other top candidate talked about this removal of subsidy, and you want him to go back? I supported him for standing firm.
All right.
So that you not look as if once people shout today, tomorrow you decide to. It's as if you don't even know what you are doing. So there's nothing that we have gained. Rather, it is tears, blood, sorrow, anything bad. That is what has happened within these 9 days, and it will continue for the next 6 months. Because I trust Nigeria.
All right.
Fuel gone up.
All
that
right.
is what I'm telling you, Canada. Transportation, the fuel price.
All right. Thank you very. Thank you very much.
Everything.
I've got to go now. Thank you very much, Gift. My guest is in the studio, Marcus Ijioma. Welcome. I'm sorry I've stressed you. I mean, the traffic and the travel time, and but then again, it's good you've been able to meet the tail of the conversation. We're talking about the impact. Do you think as the protest draws a curtain, or draws to a close, that it is impactful? I mean, for me, the message has been passed. A message of we can unite, against the politicians. A message of, there is actual hunger in the land. The message has been passed, right? But do you think overall, if we were to bring all the indices together, that it was really impactful? Welcome once again.
Like majority of the callers said, I was listening to the show while on my way here. The protest is a huge success.
Okay.
Very huge success. On the part of the government, a huge success. On the part of the people, a huge success.
Oh, no,
on
not
the
again.
part of the police, a huge success.
Marcus, not again.
No.
You're speaking in parables now.
No, not. I mean what I'm saying.
Okay, explain.
Let me start with the people. The people say we want to protest. The people protested.
Okay.
For the very right reasons. It's a plus for our democracy. The fact that you cannot beat a child, ask the child not to cry. So if the government policies are beating the people, you cannot say don't cry. And the people cried, and I think their cry has been heard. As far as I'm concerned, this protest is testing the mic. I'm sure if the government does not respond, there will be another one.
What do you mean by testing the mic?
Testing the mic because it's a 10-day protest. The next one won't have a deadline. I'm sure that one will be sponsored by another hunger. It will not be sponsored by any end bad government.
Why? I mean, you've been like a prophet on the show a couple of times. So I'm going to ask you, why do you think there will be
I say this because I've been involved in protests all since I became an adult. Apart from this one. This one, I took a back seat because I wanted to observe. You understand? But you see, the thing about protests is this. It's first and foremost a miscommunication. When there is no understanding, government is doing something, the people do not understand what the government is doing. There's miscommunication, there's breakdown of communication. Then suspicion comes in the middle. And then distrust comes in the middle. These are the fuel that fuel protest, that fuel any kind of dissent. So it's if you look at the way the Nigerian government was handling issues, you couldn't see that there was a disconnect. You can't be telling us something different from what we are feeling in our houses, from what I'm feeling in my car, from what I'm feeling in feeding and accommodation and everything that makes life comfortable for a human being. So that is that. So I give the people, the organizers, a huge congratulations, but I am not making any excuse for those who took the opportunity of the protest to be violent or to steal. And I said it's a success for the police because it's a lesson learned from NSA. If you notice, especially in Rivers State here, we must give kudos to the Commissioner of Police and his team.
Okay.
They did their best. In fact, there was a day you called me and then we're talking about the rampage in Diobo and all of that. A day after that, that same thing played out. But the swift response of the police and the team of the security men stopped them from perpetrating what they wanted to do. So to a large extent, and for goodness sake, this kind of protest had for those who are for and those who later say they are against. And to the best of my knowledge, the death rate or the casualty level is at this barest minimum when you compare it to what happened in 2020, October 22nd or so. So, and for the government, the lesson, the win for the government is that you now know the people that you are governing. These are people who don't have regards for court orders that are procured when courts are supposed to be on holidays. These are people who will still disobey you if you don't do the right thing. Telling protesters to go to the stadium, to be confined to a space and doing all of those things, and instead of security team of the government engaging with the people with a democratic face. What we saw before the protests were threats, because they were busy warning and issuing warnings, and the people said, in spite of your warning, we will do this thing. So the government has a big lesson to learn from that, and for me that's a plus for them, not to take the people for granted. And that is, if I were in this government, I would really have to sit up as soon as possible. Why? Because this is a government that came into power with barely 8 million votes out of 94 million registered voters. And you are having dissent among those supporters. So it's a huge plus for our democracy.
But when you look at it from, the demands made, I know you've said there is possible protests in the future if the government does not act quickly.
Very short time from now.
When you look at it, do you think the people have been able to get the thick-skinned politicians to act? Because you said it's success on all counts, but
yes.
Do you think they've been able to get, for instance, we still have petrol selling at what it is selling? I know you bought on your way here.
Yes.
We still have...
Abia State is selling about 950, 1,000.
Yeah, okay. So, you see. we still have food prices likely to go up because
disruption in supply chain.
You know these things. So the point is, have we solved the problem or have we worsened the problem?
The way up is down.
Come again.
The way up is down.
How do you mean?
He who is down need to fear no fall.
Okay. We
are already hungry. We are already suffering. You see, because they think our political class think that Nigeria, I heard someone, I think it was Deji on one of the podcasts, saying something. Before the advent of Boko Haram, who would have thought that a Nigerian can actually strap himself with a bomb and detonate it? So why do we keep thinking that it's not possible? Why do our political leaders keep thinking that this thing can happen here? We saw it with the Arab Spring and all of that. Some of the countries are better for it. Some of them are yet to put their pieces together. But the truth of the matter is this. As we tag along in this whole process, the government and those who run the government must begin to look at how best to be responsive. But no matter how thick their skins are, they are all afraid. I'm not joking with you. They are all afraid, Kala. National Assembly have not sat.
They are on vacation.
Good.
They are annual vacation.
They are on annual vacation. Federal Executive Council didn't hold last week. Are they on vacation? They are not. There was no access to the villa. Where will the convoy of the ministers pass to the villa? When you ask people in Maraba, in Abuja, to move to stadium, which road are they going to follow? They'll follow AYA and follow Asokoro. That's how the route works. If you ask the people in protesting in Zuba to come to the stadium, they will follow behind Aso Rock and follow Maitama to the stadium. So there was no access. Not even the president attended any public function in the last 10 years, in the last 10 days. That's how serious it is. So telling me they have a thick skin is neither here nor there. Their skin is not that thick. They give us this impression that they don't listen. But the truth is that they are more fearful than you are. If they are not fearful, they won't be in bulletproof vehicles.
So, talking about the protesters and the organizers, right? Do you think they've been able to, because the biggest fear before the protest started was it would turn violent, it would turn into a riot. Yeah. It almost did turn into a riot.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the north, Kaduna, Kano, Bauchi and the rest. Yeah.
So if you are saying, because you've said the government should be responsive, but if they are not, then there's the likelihood that it's going to get, back to where we started from, more protests. Do you think the organizers would be able to rein in on the protesters at the time, because it would maybe turn into a full-blown riot like we see in the UK?
The next protest won't have organizers. You wouldn't know no organizers. Before this one, they were looking for the organizers. The organizers showed up on media. There were media houses. We heard that DSS arrested one of them and what have you. The protest that I use the word might, if the government, both state, federal, and everybody don't respond as soon as possible, like we say in Nigeria, ASAP, we'll have no leader, we'll have no date, we'll have no time. So I think that every reasonable person in Nigeria that sits in any kind of political office should do what. I'm glad that the government is rolling out a few things. I had commercial on your radio, NDDC is launching all of this and that and that. They need to do more. There's a need. See, Nigeria is sick. Nigeria is on oxygen. We need to do more. We are in ICU. ICU. We are in ICU. This country is on oxygen, and if nothing is done, two things will happen. It's either it gets well or it dies. So I am not a prophet of doom. Anybody who knows me as a very patriotic person, a very optimistic Nigerian. But the truth of the matter is that I'm a political observer. I've observed politics for nearly 30 years now. And the behavior, not just in Nigeria, behavior of people. One thing that drives people, Nigerians are very simple people to satisfy. Bring back subsidy, don't bring back subsidy, but at least can you be transparent enough with the process of petrol? Before the scarcity started before this protest, so nobody should tell you that the scarcity was experienced. Now they are blaming it on the protest. Oh, they are not loading.
Oh no, they said they couldn't. I mean, they finally got the protest, but they couldn't distribute it.
I hear you, sir. See, Kala, we've lost a lot of time, but let me just say this: the government like I said at the beginning, protests are brainchild, abetted by distrust, miscommunication. Nigerian government need to be more transparent. The government at all level need to be more. We know you don't go. And I said, I've already taken my decision not to even go to the street. But that does not mean I don't support the protest. And I know a lot of people like myself who have a sympathy for the struggle but didn't participate in it. So the government needs to be very, very careful going forward.
The conversation before this one, the 4 o'clock conversation, had to do with what the government could have done. And the guest that was on the show was talking about how it is the fault of every politician, the governors, the local government chairmen, the senators, the House of Assembly members of all 36 states, even in Abuja. And he said they have not been able to put things rolling. So what can we do? Because you said it's the country is in ICU. What can we do?
First things first. The government should communicate more.
Communicate like the president should come on Nigeria Info and have a conversation with them?
The president have about 40 ministers.
Okay.
I had that conversation. I was actually I listen to your show almost every day.
Okay.
Except I'm not disposed or something. So I was actually listening to the doctor, I've forgotten his name now.
Prince Adeleke Jones.
Good. I listened to everything he said. Like one of your callers said, the only thing I didn't agree is that he took the bulk of the president's table. But you see, when people begin to hold governors and chairmen responsible, I have a problem with that. Because we don't run a true federalism. For me, to begin to... yes, governors have responsibility because they came into office with all kinds of promises without knowing what they were getting into. But the truth of the matter is that until we have resource control, it's difficult to blame these people. Because if you look at the sharing formula of the federal allocation, the federal government control a chunk. Even more than what the state and the local government share.
About 51%.
Good. So why would you leave the guy who has 51% and go and drag the local government chairman who have 20-something% and the governors who have 20-something%? So the buck stops at the federal government. What are the issues? One of the demands of the protester is security. What does it take to equip the police? How long does it take to buy police shoes? They make them in Aba here. If you give me supply order today, I'm sure Rivers Command will have their boots tomorrow. I'll get them. But when last did you see 2 Nigerian police officers with shoes? Shoes. I'm not talking bullets. I remember the IGP's press briefing with the defense, the service chiefs and all of that. And he was talking about, and the journalist asked him, why did you, if you were going to be civil, why did you arm your men with live ammunition instead of rubber bullets? How many water cannon did we see in Rivers State? One for the whole state. So imagine if this protest was going on in the entire local governments of Rivers State. The police would be overpowered. So how equipped? Let's even say that, let's not start dealing with the technical issues of the economy. Cassava will take, the hybrid one will take 3 months. Let's leave those ones first. What does it take to get police uniforms? Radio. How long does it take to get ambulances functional at the hospital? What does it take to declare that every checkpoint that is making food prices go up, I keep emphasizing on that, should be removed with immediate effect, and anybody caught? I expected that the president is really not in touch with happenings, because if he was in touch, it's as simple as that broadcast. I said that from today, every state government, I've discussed with the governors, all produce collection checkpoints should be removed. No soldier should put a boy on the street. I saw it a lot when I was coming from Abia State now. Soldiers no longer collect money. They keep one civilian boy on the road that collects and go and give them change and comes back. So if you want change, you can give them 1,000, they'll give you 800. So if the president had removed that, that will impact on food prices.
Unfortunately, we have to go now.
I'm so sorry for turning up labor. It's all good. So I hope that the protesters will, look at all of the achievement that they have gained and consolidate on it in future if the government does not.
All right, thank you very much, Marcus. I've got to go now.
Thank you very much, Carla. Thank you, Port Harcourt.
What are you buying there?
It's oil for cooking.
Unbranded oil.